Well, I haven't made much for videos for a while. So I walked out here in this sorghum behind the barn. This stuff here is about, almost neck high. A little bit thicker planting. A lot smaller stems. Plus there's this, all this millet got in here from somewhere. I suppose odds and ends that, I don't know, that oats field was pretty clean last year, but it got in there. Unless there was some millet in with this sorghum seed, but it sure didn't look like it. It's real good through this swath here. This ground's a little better, dark. Up by the road it's a little coarser and a little drier. That area over there where tulip is, if you can see tulip going there. There's actually there's some sorghum in there, but it's really short. It drowned out when, if you believe that, it drowned out. Ponded in there too long after it sprouted that 3 inches of rain. That 3 inches of rain is mainly what this stuff grew on. We got 3/4, just a couple hundred shy of 3/4 the other night, which perked this up. It's been sitting here looking a little bit pineapple-y and shriveled up for a while, but it'll be good. Looks like it's probably taller over there than it is where I'm standing. It's probably almost head high, which this would be a real nice weekend to cut it, but I'm not prepared to be done letting it grow yet. I don't have time to get a second cutting off of it, so I'm not going to let it get as out of hand as last year, because I'd rather have leaf than stem, even if it's a few less bales. So, you know, noisy geese back here. I'll bring it back and show you the geese. Bryce asked about the geese the other day, so we'll go see them. All right, well, Maddie let the geese in here. So these were Tractor Supply mixed geese, so you don't know what you're gonna get. I like Emdens, and I like Toulouse, and I once had Pilgrim geese, which are sex linked. They're the only ones you can tell the males and females apart by their feathers. They're the only geese in the world that way, as far as I know. So we think we got a gray Chinese male, noisy thing, and a gray African female. I mean, they're colored very similar, but they are. Because this one definitely does not have the Chinese neck, and it doesn't sound like it. So, there's noisy guard geese if you let them out in the yard. So Cody was making excellent progress on his woodpile the other night until he ran into this yellow jacket's nest in the rotted butt of that tamarack there. Probably see him coming and going. The black pipe was my attempt to flood them out, because I only had a little hornet spray. Sprayed them one night and it wasn't enough to do much to them. So I hooked the garden hose to that 1/2-inch pipe and jammed it in there. I flooded it so good they were running out the other end, but somehow or other they got to have that nest in there that I didn't get enough water in it. So we're going to have to take more drastic measures. If you see, it looks a little scorched around there. I also tried aerial gunnery on some of them with a little bit of brake clean, which I wouldn't recommend, but was rather fun at the time. So I got a little piece of first crop hay to cut at the neighbors down the side road over there behind the trees. I got to get to that, and I should get it this weekend. There's a part that I planted that last year, very late, very wet. Never fertilized it. I was going to square bale that because it's not really awful, and I might square bale it, but it's supposed to be a good weather window and pretty hot. If I wait too long, I'll never dry this. Now I can wilt it and wrap it up in a silage bale, and if I have to, I will, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut just this end over here from like by the corn down there, this better trefoil. I'll let that other side fill in again over there. It's doing nice. This stuff is, I mean, it's not terribly tall, but it's fairly thick and it's really nice. The feed value would be really good. Not that I need it, but tulip in the winter when it's 30 below, she'd eat this inside. So I'm going to try to make small squares out of it if I can get it to dry, which we got good rain chance tomorrow. So I'm thinking I come home from work on Thursday and cut it. It's supposed to be nice and hot, like 80s hot. That's hot here. So yeah, you see beyond here, it's just not as, there's a lot of trefoil in there. This spot's, I don't know, it's a little thin on topsoil or rocky there or whatever, but a lot of this, I guess if I throw nitrogen on it, I might as well cut it and get the benefit out of the stuff. It's mostly grass. There is some red clover. This I'm pretty sure I could dry. Make heck of a nice grass second crop, so I'm going to try to square bale this. A lot of it's actually pretty thick. I was walking around in here the other night and I was rather impressed. Could be a little taller, but it's just the way it is. And this corn is the tallest sweet corn I have ever grown. We're in the 9-foot range, which the problem is it's the middle of August. This is the late variety. Now, of course, we don't expect it to dent and dry. We're trying to get eating and canning corn here, but the, I don't know, whatever kind of millet this is, bird feeder millet, let's call it. So the earlier varieties, which are a little shorter, don't seem to be any much further along. What's going to happen is it's all going to show up at once. Well, great millet in the camera. It's really grassy in here, by the way, but the corn grew. So yeah, I don't know. I hope the these 80s we're talking about, this corn gets rolling here and we'll get something. A grasshopper landing on my shoulder. After looking at them yellow jackets, I'm a little jumpy. Yeah, it looks like I got I disked over here, but we didn't plant anything. Looks like I got pure stand of some kind. Funny millet. So the pumpkins are growing pumpkins and the squash are growing squash. There's another pumpkin. Ah, there's one. The true Moorgold squash. My favorite squash. Very fine grained, very dry. Butter and brown sugar. And the Burgess buttercups. So kind of a weed fest over here, but that's why I planted them on manure hills. They're throw them on there, let them grow. Alright, well, there's a rambling video about a lot of nothing except kind of what's growing around here and maybe what we'll do. We start making second crop over here. I'll be sure to get the footage of that, because in 13 haying seasons here now that I've been here, I made second crop one other time. Second crop canary back by the ditch back there. That was pretty nice. And then this strip on the other side of the garden at that time had some pretty nice grass in it. I made some over there, so most of the time this is a one-cut show around here, but we're gonna see if we can get a little bit. Been a long time since I've had a nice green fluffy all leaf second crop bale. Alright, well, we've gone on plenty long. If you've made it this far, thank you.